Hello! Welcome back to the Moonlight server. And you know what? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, where the hell have these episodes been? Where are they? And I don't have an excuse. I don't really have a very good excuse. Simply put, I haven't been motivated to play on here, which in my eyes is terrible. It's really terrible because, as you probably know, the Moonlight server is pretty new. It's a few months old. It's just a baby in terms of server lifetime, and in this time of its life, it really does need as many active members as it can get. I mean, the server only has about 6 players, I think, including myself, and to just ignore it for so many weeks, for so long, at this kind of crucial time, is just really terrible for someone to do. And especially me, the guy with the most subscribers, the guy with the most influence. And I'm not saying that to make myself sound bigger than I am or anything. I just genuinely do feel I have not been pulling my weight whatsoever. So yeah, I do really feel bad, and I do apologise. But let's try to break that trend. Let's try to be a lot more active on here, and let's try to make some videos. Today I am not going to be working on my tower. I worked on it for 2 episodes, and yeah, I don't think people want to watch it. I think I want to do something a little bit different. And yeah, today we're actually going to be doing something a little bit more community based. I say community based, there's not going to be anyone in the video or anything, but it's community based because I'm actually at the server's spawn. I haven't actually shown this yet, but here it is. It's not too much to show. We are in a plains biome. It's got a few buildings here and there. This is the Citadel, which should be called the Observatory, but whatever. This is kind of supposed to be like the central building of the spawn, built by Tango Tech. Over here we have Lucky Levers, also built by Tango Tech. This is just like a gambling game. I haven't played it yet. I don't want to just waste my money. I have a very addictive personality, and I just know I would waste everything in there. Got some dino over there. We have a forest. That's Grass Forest over there, and there's a couple villages here and there as well. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making a bank. So yeah, as you can see, I have reserved this lovely little mountain here. And this is where the bank is going to be placed. It is in quite a nice location. It's a little bit kind of out of town, or out of the central town, but yeah, I wanted to build it on a mountain because I thought it would look cool. And it would fit in for the theme I'm going for. And as you can see, I've really done nothing yet, but I have an idea in my mind what I'm going to do. So I'm actually going to dig out a little bit, because it's going to be underground, and we shall see how that goes. Yes, that's right, the cut and... what are they called? Cut and... jump cut. The jump cuts are here to stay, don't worry. I know you hate them, but... Go away, Gravel. No one likes you, and no one invited you to the party. 1 hour later. So here is what I've done. It's nothing pretty. It's just the outline for what I'm going to do. So we've just got a bit of a dip here, and then we've got this this cavern. Yeah, it looks terrible at the moment, but rest assured it will look fantastic when I've got my hands on some granite. See, the thing with this map is that we actually made it in 1.6 something, so the terrain generation is the old terrain generation. So if you want any of the new biomes and the new blocks or anything, you actually have to walk pretty far, and it's not really fun. But I think I'm not positive here. Graph made this tunnel which goes to a ice biome, not an ice biome. What are they called? Spiky one. The spiky ones. And fortunately it's actually on my way to my base, so my base kind of dips off to the side at some point, which is nice, so I can actually pop by there, because I do actually have some granite, so that's good. But yeah, that's quite nice. And here she is. You know, these ice spike biomes are really, really pretty, and I absolutely love the packed ice block. Not so much from the side, like, if you get what I mean. If you're looking at it from the side, it doesn't look very nice, but for some reason when you're looking at it from the top, it looks a lot more blue. Is that just me? Is that just me? It just does look much more blue than compared to there. I don't know. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're actually going to have a floor pattern. It's just a simple floor pattern. So it's kind of like a checkered pattern basically. So we'll go 3 blocks like this. Well, 9 blocks like that, but 3 by 3. And then adjacent to it we shall put some raw granite, and then we will just repeat the pattern all across the floor basically. Here is how the floor looks with everything in place, and I like it. I think it looks really nice, and I'll explain why I think it looks nice. First off, this is supposed to be a bank, so it needs to look expensive, and you know, making something look expensive in Minecraft is actually quite difficult because there's not really many blocks that kind of can do it. But I think that granite is one of the few that can. So the thing I really like about this is when you place some polished granite next to some raw granite, you get this really nice depth effect, and you might kind of be able to see what I mean. And I think it's because if you look on the very edge of the polished granite, there's kind of like this dark line, and then on the other side there's kind of like this light line. So when you kind of place them next to it, it kind of makes it look like the raw granite is a little bit deeper. And yeah, I just really like how it looks. So next, what does a bank do? Well, a bank stores valuables and money, and this bank is no different. That is exactly what it's going to do. So what we're going to have in this bank, and as you can see I've actually made some indents here, are vaults. Let's start with this one right here. So obviously a vault needs a door, otherwise it is pointless. So the design I like goes like this. We have a quartz stair like this, and like this. And then we would have some diorite like that, and in the very center we have an iron block. So as you can see, that looks kind of vaulty. I might replace the diorite with polished diorite because that might look a bit better, but yeah, it kind of has a vaulty feel maybe. Yeah, polished looks much better I think. So what we're going to do after that is we're going to just make a little frame like this out of the granite, and I kind of want this to look a bit old. I don't want it to look too new. I want it to look like it's hundreds of years old. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add a bit of rugged raw granite. So we're just going to go like this or so, and yeah, maybe one there. And I'm just going to basically repeat that 6 times over in each of these indents over here. And here's how it looks with all of the vaults in place. Pretty nice. So yeah, ignore the cobblestone, that is just a placeholder for the time being. I don't have any diorite, and you know, I don't know if I like the diorite too much. I might change that, but for now it will do. So obviously a vault needs to do something other than look pretty. These need to actually be functional, and that is exactly what I'm going to be doing next. So what I'm going for here is a secure keycard based lock. Now you will have noticed there are in fact 6 vaults, and the reason there are 6 is because there are 6 players on the server, so each of these vaults has a designated owner. Now the thing with these vaults is they're only going to be able to be accessed by their owner. So let's say this one over here is mine, only I can open this one. Let's say this one is Impulse's, only Impulse can open this one. We are going to start off with a piston door. Now this piston door isn't going to be anything fancy, and I really don't recommend you follow it because it's a bit bulky and it's not really efficient for what it does. And here is the piston door. So yeah, nothing to write home about, but it works and looks alright. The animation is a bit broken because of server lag, but yeah, does what it's supposed to do. It is now technically in working order, so time for a demonstration and also an explanation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to here and I'm going to fill this hopper with items. So here we go. And I'm actually going to just close this up to make it look a little bit nicer. And if I press this button, nothing's going to happen because we need a key card. So all we have to do is go into this dropper here, place a key card and press the button. And the vault door will open, and I'll be hit because I was a bit slow. And you'll also see that the item that I placed in there is dispensed for us. So now we're in our vault, we can do what we want in here and be happy. But let's say we want to leave, we just press this button here, the vault will open again and close, and we can pick up our item. How it works is of course pretty simple. We're just using one of the old Hopper password locks, and if you don't know what those are, where the hell have you been? But I'll explain. Basically we just have this hopper here filled up with a certain type of item. So when we place something in here, what it's going to do is it's going to attempt to place that item into this hopper here. But if I were to place, say, a sapling in here, and I press the button, you'll see that the sapling is still in here. And the reason it's still in here is because it doesn't have anywhere to go. It's going to attempt to place the sapling in there, but because there is no available slots, it will fail. So only a written book can be placed in this hopper. But what makes this lock special, what makes this lock really secure, is the type of item we're using, and it's a requirement for this. So if I just look at this item, we'll see first off it is a written book. So the first requirement is that it needs to be a written book. The next requirement is that it needs to be called keycard, okay? So you need to have a written book called keycard for this to succeed. But wait, there's more. So this doesn't only need to be a written book with keycard, it also needs to have a specific author, and that specific author is me, SimplySarc. So basically, as you probably can get by now, is this system will only accept written books by me, okay? So let's say that Graphoniac comes along and she's like, oh, I'm going to steal his stuff in that vault. And she's going to come along and she knows that she needs a keycard and she knows that she needs a written book. So she's going to create a book called keycard and she's going to place it in there. But it's going to fail because, like I said, it needs to have the same author. So as you can see, SimplySarc, her book would be called by Graphoniac and they wouldn't stack because their data isn't identical. So it's a very, very secure kind of lock, and it's honestly one of my favourites that I've done. And yeah, I'm going to share it with the community. But I think that's going to mark the end of today's episode. I know it was a little bit shorter than you're expecting, but I feel like I've achieved the goal I was aiming for in this episode. I've created the door, and that is great. All that's really left to do is just clone the door. Well, not clone, copy the door. Cloning makes it sound like I'm cheating. I'm not cheating. But copy it 5 times. And I don't really think that's too interesting to watch. So just end it on a high. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like. I mean, I don't really like asking for them. But I do sort of see comments that go like, you know, where's Moonlight and stuff. And, you know, when you see a video get a load of likes, I mean, you might not understand if you don't make videos. But when you see a video gets lots of likes, especially when you don't ask for it, like I'm sort of doing now. But when you see that it gets a load of likes, it's very motivating. So if you actually do like Moonlight, if you like this sort of series and you want to see more of it, I do encourage you to leave a like. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.